Who is Randy?
Don't bring anyone mother into this.
Your mom in the fucking stand!
Okay, so now this is the fucking bummer part, man. Yeah, because we live here in Los Angeles, and absolute horrible tragedy happened the other day, which was that Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter accident. And it really was like so... It was such a shock, I think, as it was to most people. I'll lay out for you how like it happened to me, or like how the news affected me. So I was flying back from New Zealand the morning of, right? And I'm flying back, and I think I told you I couldn't believe that we had Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I've you were really stoked about that.
Well, I've flown internationally so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And I just came to accept it as standard that when you fly internationally, there's no Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it happens all the time when you fly just to Canada. We're on the same piece of land. And they're like, yeah, there's no Wi-Fi. And they look at you like you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, someone just gave me that when we were coming back from Hawaii. She's like,
When
no, stupid.
Yeah, same.
Ocean.
That's Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm like,
Europe, same thing. I was like, is there a Wi-Fi? They're like, no, of course not. Why are you so dumb?
Idiot, yeah.
I was like, okay. So I leave Auckland, and then they're like, yeah, there's Wi-Fi on this. I'm like, there's how? And they're like, satellites and shit, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. So I get online, and I'm trying to sleep on this flight, and I can't. I keep trying. I put like the eye mask on.
It's because you miss me so much, and
I
you're
miss
so
you,
excited
and
to see me.
I just couldn't sleep. So, throughout the flight, I'd watch a movie, and then it's a 12-hour flight back. I pull up Twitter, and I actually see in close to real time that, because this is like the night flying into the day, that LeBron James had surpassed Kobe's scoring title. Like, he passed him. And Kobe sent out this really like classy, congratulatory tweet about it. Like, congratulations, and keep going, keep pushing it. And then I saw a picture of them. Like, I don't know if the picture was from that night, but it was a picture of Kobe at a game, and LeBron was playing, and they were like saying what's up, like handing, And then anyway, so I happened to actually see that, like I was going through my feed and I saw it, and I just made like a mental note of it, like, oh, I didn't know that LeBron surpassed him, and that's cool of Kobe to write that, like a classy thing. And then I land at 6 a.m. So 6 a.m. LA time, we land from New Zealand, and I get in the car, and we're going over the hill, and the guy who picked me up, our regular Clint, I was like, man, it's really foggy. And he was like, yeah, it's like it was sitting on the 405. Like the fog was.
Yeah.
And by that time, so I landed at 6. We're probably not in the car till 6:37. And I was like, wow, it's sitting on the 405. It seems like it's like a gloomy fall day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I get home, and the goal of the day on these international travel days is you try to acclimate to the time zone you're in. So it's like the goal would be to stay up and go to bed in the time zone that I'm in now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just so tired from that
right,
flight.
You're wrecked.
And I hadn't slept. So I go, I'm just going to take a nap. Will you wake me up in a couple hours? So you do. And when you wake me up, I open my phone, and it's like Kobe Bryant died.
I know.
And at first I was like, I cannot believe this. And his helicopter crashed 10 minutes from our house.
Do you want to know a crazy thing? I haven't even told you this yet. So we had some neighbors come visit us. We haven't seen in a while. They had a baby. And the neighbors texted us after they had left our house. They go, do you want to know what's crazy? We saw his helicopter overhead. Like must have been minutes before the crash, because they're near it where it happened. And they saw it because they were used to seeing Kobe Bryant's helicopter flying
Mm-hmm.
in the neighborhood, and they saw it that morning.
So
Isn't that nuts?
yeah, it was like.
Ugh.
So he, at first I'm just stunned by the story, and then like more information comes out that his daughter was on board, and then another family, husband, wife, and their daughter, and then another woman who's a mother of 3, and
the
then
coach.
Yeah. And then another player from the team. So 3 girls from the team were on the flight.
Crazy.
And then what happens, like, for me, I don't know how, like, when you process, like, real tragic news, but at first I was, like, just stunned. Like, Kobe Bryant, he's 41. So he's just barely older than me, like a year older than me. I've followed him, since I was, like, he got drafted into the NBA when I was a senior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I've lived in LA for the majority of his career.
Yeah.
So for 15
Kobe's
of the 20,
been on the team
20 years. He played 20 seasons.
Like, I feel like I've grown up
Exactly.
with
You have.
that guy.
Yeah, you have.
He's the only reason I gave a shit about the Lakers,
Yeah.
because he was such an amazing player.
And he was like, if you, like, some people live, no, there's only like a handful of like iconic athletes, like there's stars, but like if you live in a city that has a really iconic, like not every city has that. And LA definitely does with him. He defines basketball and Los Angeles in this city. Like, he is the guy. And people just, he's so beloved here.
Oh my God. I was in Target yesterday, and first of all, it was eerily empty.
Mm-hmm.
And but the people that were there, people were all wearing his jerseys around the city, and it was like,
I went to the beach.
Oh my life.
I went to the beach, and people were at the beach in his jerseys.
Yeah, it's just
It was
heartbreaking.
terrible. The part that really always fucks me up with like tragedies, is like I always see the news, and I process it as news. It'll shock me as like, here's the information, like Twin Towers are hit by the planes, and you go like, oh my God. But on the coverage of the people, like how people are reacting on the ground, that's what breaks me. Like so they showed one of the games that night. They did he wore 8, and then he wore number 24. They did a 24-second countdown on the game clocks, on the shooting clock, and they were in complete silence in an arena, like 18,000 people, just completely silent. Then the clock countdown, then it buzzed, and like I started crying.
Of course.
I just started crying. I don't know. Like, I think when like celebrities die, it's always different than, because people die every day, obviously.
Yeah.
But it really does. Like I kept thinking about his wife. He just had a 4th daughter.
I know.
She's 6 months old.
Oh my God.
But it does the part that it does remind me. I think it has this effect on other people too. Is like it reminds you about how it really it can happen like that. Like nothing is promised. Like I remember thinking along the lines. It's not the same type of tragedy, but like when Paul Allen died. He's the co-founder of Microsoft, and he had cancer, and he had treatments, and then he died, and he died in like his, I don't know, late 50s, early 60s. He had $30 billion, and you go like, it doesn't matter what you know what I mean? Like it was that type of thing of.
It doesn't matter.
It can just go. You can just go.
I've been thinking about death a lot lately too, because I'm 43 and now I'm like, oh, I'm over the middle hump. Like it's all downhill from here, and it could be, you can. I hate it. It makes me not give a fuck in a good way. Where you're like, yeah, now I'm liberated, because you're like, it can go. It's all precious. It's all meaningful, every day.
Yeah.
Right. Every fart I smell of yours could be the last. I gotta breathe deeply.
It's a real nice place to take it to. You're bad at processing this stuff, huh?
Well, I'm still depressed about Anthony Bourdain committing suicide. That one I really loved him, and I felt very close. Kobe's like, I'm still in shock. I don't think I can process this one yet. He's
I feel like
such a fixture.
More for Kobe.
Yeah.
Because he's like I said, he's a year, it's like a guy my age.
Ugh.
Who has a wife and kids, and he has everything going for him.
Yeah.
You couldn't script a more. Like he's.
I know. The girl was a star at basketball
she was
too.
A star,
13.
and he loved being a dad.
He's a family guy.
And he, he won an Oscar last year for his short. He's like a venture capitalist. He's doing like all these things, and people just adored him. And to just think that just like that, it's over. Mm-hmm. It's done. He's not here anymore.
So crazy. It's horrible. I think everybody in LA is like mourning. I don't think, right? It's just terrible. We all, everybody's bummed out.
It's such a bummer. And
it's not like he had some rinky-dinky helicopter. You think, oh, well, because the first thing I texted you when I saw it, I was like, fuck your helicopter flying lessons. You're never getting an helicopter ever again.
I took a helicopter ride in October in weather in the UK. We went from London to Manchester in a helicopter.
Great.
But from what I've been reading about this story, that pilot had a special license to operate in worse than normal weather.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then now
he had that. He had to be granted clearance to continue flying by air traffic control. He was granted it after 15 minutes of circling Burbank. And then he headed up to over Woodland Hills. Then he, I think, asked for another permission to go somewhere, and they told him he was flying too low. So they said, we're not reading you on radar, so you need to go up. And then he flew up to a certain altitude, and then, the only thing that adds up as of now, and I know this is like speculating, is just that he, in that heavy fog that day, I'm assuming made a movement, goes directly in a direction, heads in a direction, doesn't realize he's flying literally into the side of a mountain.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, they crashed into such heavy terrain that they had to dig pathways to access the crash site. So it's it appears that if he was flying with because your instruments on these things are advanced, but it's also it's a pilot working with the instruments, and so if fog makes it so that your visibility is not there, you don't see where you're flying, and your instruments don't tell you exactly what's right here. Usually the only instruments I'm aware of, I'm not an expert pilot, are just like, hey, your altitude is this. I don't know if those things are equipped with to your left right here, you can't see it, but this is here, because it appears that he literally just went right into the side of a mountain. 9 people.
That's unreal.
Yeah.